Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today I'm going to address a couple things. So, recently, I've heard a few things, right? The first thing is, Chekhov's not that broken. If you guys don't know, Cheklov right now, pretty broken. Most people that play the game at a decent level completely agree that Cheklov is broken aircraft carrier. But made a couple comments saying, you got to learn how to counter ships. Use an AA ship, right? So in this video, you're going to see why this still doesn't even counter Chkalov, guys. Okay? We're going to be, in this match, we're going to be up against a not a great carrier player, and the Chkalov is still going to be pretty gnarly. Now, I think most people that are sane probably already assumed, yeah, Chekhov's still crazy, right? Or Cheklov is completely broken. Now, that being said, the other thing I've been getting recently, not as much, but I got a one or two comments about it. Commanders don't matter, and I could not disagree with this more. Actually, while you can still be effective with a certain commander or not, if if you're a decent player, you can still make an impact on your game with commander. Commanders make a huge difference, and I feel like people that may disagree with that may have forgot what it's like to be new players with a level 5 or 6 sims on your American battleships or whatever the case may be, because there is a significant difference. Now, that being said, the commander for today's video, and one I want to show the differences from, right? Because this is the absolute opposite build of what I would recommend ever doing, but it's a funny. Till you put Kong on a ship, you build into AA, and then you don't get carriers until your 6th match. And every other match, or every other time you go in fact, I went in, you get, I believe, the Georgia video. And I had like 4 matches in a row of carriers. or not Georgia. I can't remember what it was. It was an American ship. That being said, guys, we'll take a quick look at how I have it built for the video. Ernest King, Yamaguchi, obviously full AA, right? Is the most we could get out of AA. I guess we're using this for reload. That being said, honestly, this is actually a perk I'm starting to like more. We'll talk about that more in the future, but I like switching ammo types a little bit more than I used to, and we've been playing around a lot with commanders, and we'll be discussing this more in the future. I've switched some commanders around, particularly cruiser and destroyer commanders, and I am noticing some differences that I like quite a bit, and some perks that I like quite a bit that I didn't think I would have before. Now, that being said, you can see we are fully built into AA, right? We have AA on the first one, and we're not even taking plotting room on the second one, right? So we're full AA. So anybody that sees this and says, well, you weren't full built into AA, I was. And not only that, we are in New Jersey, which has some of the best AA in the game. I think most people agree. And we have it out to 6.8 kilometers. Now, when this happens, you absolutely, if you think, right, that commanders don't matter, right? We'll talk about this briefly before we get into the match. These are my stats on New Jersey. Now, my stats are bad for a few reasons. First of all, this was my first ever Tier 7 ship. So I just sailed broadside and literally just shot my guns off. So I'm going to be clear about this. Some of these stats are because of that. Outside of that, these are stats of me trying to get carrier matches, right? Notice some X-plane shot down, even while playing Kong, right? Do not build into this build. This is just to be funny, okay? And to prove my point about the Chkalov, but also I was hoping to get a game where I shot down 50 planes, right? 60 planes. in a good air, and it just didn't happen. I don't get matched up against carriers, with this build at all for some reason. That being said, too, though, like I said, some of these stats are based off of me being terrible because this was my first ever tier 7. And when I mean terrible, guys, when I first played this game, I literally just played it to have fun and play American battleships, shooting broadside, being dumb. I literally had, I think, a 39% win rate for my first 1,000 or 2,000 matches. It's something really crazy. Like, I was that guy. All right, so keep that in mind. But you can notice the most accurate Iowa battleship, only 32 main gun percentage. Why is that? Well, not only was I bad when I first started, but even now, being a much better player, and I'm not saying I'm the world's best American battleship player, because I'm not, but I do have some world records in it, so definitely qualified. My gun accuracy actually didn't move at all in this ship with the Kong build, right? And that's very important because, right, we're talking about kind of how commanders, I don't want to ramble on too long, but commanders make a difference. So I'm just going to show a little thing, right? We have, really quickly, nothing built into guns other than 5% reload. Whereas you go to something, we'll just use New Jersey because I have my world records on American battleships in New Jersey, right? You have these things that help damage, right? A lot of things. So 5% reload. So right now, you can see we have the same reload perk on this build currently. Something I've been testing out and so that's equal already to what Kong has. But all of a sudden, 5.5% more reload. So you're making your ship instantly just off of that value 5% better, right? There's no debate that. You're getting 5.5% better, more shells in your match, right? Doing more damage. Also, 5% more here, right? Also, you get better accuracy in range with the flammable cannoneer. So you're also getting more accuracy. So you're getting more shells to hit, and it's a significant amount. I can assure you this. We'll see in the video. But then you're also getting more damage. 8% on all your AP. If you do not think commanders make a difference, just out of the gate, right? And also, look, 15% more with citadels. And again, way more accurate with the dispersion. And the dispersion makes a huge difference in grouping. They do, okay? So just off of them perks alone, let's just say we do a citadel, right? We have 15% here. This we had on the other commander. This is 8% here, right? Also, way more accurate. We're getting more range, so we can shoot targets we haven't shot before. And 5% here, and then 5% here. If you don't think that changes, that doesn't make your ship much better, or or switching to a different commander that might not be as good. Like, for example, Kong, right? There is a huge difference. And I will showcase that tomorrow because we go for one match. For the New Jersey guide will be tomorrow. One match with New Jersey, and you're gonna see only one match. I didn't cherry pick. This video, I cherry picked the best one out of 8 games to show you. But the other one for tomorrow, for the guide for New Jersey, not cherry picked at all. First match out the gate with the new commander, went great. Now for the match. A couple things that you should note. This is the best game I had out of I can't remember. It was 7 games, I think, in this Kong build. Also, this is the best one and the one with the only one with a carrier. And this Chkalov player is going to showcase how broken Chkalov is. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not a player that knows what he's doing. Why is this? Well, if you're a good aircraft carrier player, you don't go right at a New Jersey. Right? He's already got torpedoes off, and now we start to shoot out his planes. And this is what I'm talking about, guys, right? Sure, we shoot down 4 planes. It's after already he's dumped his torps. Now we have heals, so we're not too worried about that flood because I'm worried he's going to come back. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And that's how I know he is not the world's best player. And I'm not ripping on him. There's a lot of people playing Chekhovs right now that are not obviously carrier mains. But this guy is going to showcase just how crazy this ship, that plane is. So we're going to go ahead and again, he's driving in my AA defenses, right? And he's going to drop on me yet again. Again, we don't shoot down any planes till he's already dropped his stuff. He gets a fire. And that kind of just showcases you cannot stop a Chkalov. If a Chkalov wants to kill you, it is so overpowered that most ships, like if there was a Kaga up against me, I would wreck all that guy's planes. And he probably won't get much off for drops. So the Chkalov is basically come over here and messed us up. We're down to about half health instantly. And now we're taking a little bit of damage from stuff, but that was all the Chkalov. And you can see he finally focuses on somebody else. So we're going to get a break from him for a little bit. And it's not like I rushed in or did anything crazy. We're in a reasonable spot here. And now I'm going to showcase these guns. Now I did get one Citadel on a broadside Georgia. But we're going to take a shot here at Gneisenau. 14 kilometers away. I would not say that's like super back of the map. We're going to get 2 shells. Okay? And the accuracy. Like some people don't buy into accuracy. Holy crap. Accuracy is a big thing in this game, in my opinion. Now everybody's going to have their own opinions on stuff. I totally get it. And everybody's entitled to their own opinions. But this is what I mean when commanders matter, because you see, we haven't built into guns. And even when you do build into guns, the way you do it can be absolutely different, right? So you're going to see here, again, only 2 shells. It's not like this guy's at 20 kilometers. We're not out at our end range shooting, and we're backing up to get our heals up because the carrier wrecked us. And you're going to see my frustration with the guns on this. And right here, right? We're going to shoot off 9 shells, right? On a broadside battleship at 13 kilometers. Out of 9 shells, 1 hit. And you can see I get frustrated. Because this was, I did this a few matches in a row. And this was super consistent. In fact, even me, who's, normally pretty good in American battleships, I think my best game was like the outside of this one was like 70,000 damage. Oh man, it's rough. It is not like this is the shortest match in the world. We're 5 minutes in. We've only hit 13 shells on targets. And like I said, it's not like we're playing at full range. And it's super frustrating. So I also am not that far removed from the beginning of the game, right? And I think some people forget that. A lot of players in the community that have been playing this game for years. I've played this game about, maybe we're going on 2 years now. I remember what it's like to have bad commanders. Now, sure, I wail a lot recently, obviously. You guys know that. Not something I try to hide. So I have good commanders now. And it definitely helps. Also, am I a better player? Oh, yeah. Way better. Obviously. But the commanders 100% do make a big, significant difference. You're going to see this. I'm going to take tons of shots, and you're going to consistently see 1 or 2 shells hit. Broadside Gneisenau. I'm not sure what hits here. Oh, we got 4. So we got less than half of our shells on the broadside. That's not a terrible salvo, I guess. But it makes a difference. If you guys don't think so, go run a generic commander. Like, I actually did that in match before. I actually put on Kong. I put on the generic Dewey, right? And I had a pretty atrocious match as well. Now, can you still be effective with bad commanders? Yes. I'm not saying you can't, or that you can't have good matches. But you're generally not gonna, there's gonna be a huge difference. And in some cases, you might, if you're using, like, for example, we're using nothing that builds into our guns for Kong, right? That commander. Now, I'm not saying go that crazy, because this is a little bit a crazy example of what I'm talking about. But when you're low level, you don't get much perks, right? You get, if you have like let's say a 7 Sims, you get 1 inspiration. It's probably not that good. It's only going to help you half of what most people have now. So you're only helped a quarter by that. Also, you're going to have like the first tier of most of your perks, meaning, 1% range and dispersion on like fixated and other things like that. Your AP damage is only going to be 2% more, or your grouping is only going to be a little bit more. And that adds up very quickly, and it almost exponentially gets better when your commanders get better. Like I said, I'm not saying you can't have good games without a great commander. What I'm saying is most of the time you're going to be much better with better commanders and a commander that suits your play style, right? We talked about this in the American battleship commander discussion, and like if you just want to not worry about accuracy and you just want to shoot your guns off at battleships, Hoshino might be the best one to do that with, because you just have reload. You don't have to worry about your accuracy as much, whereas you have Sims or Colorado, which are really well rounded, and then you have commanders like, for me, New Jersey, which, if you're accurate with your shells, you know where you're placing them, and you get citadels, or you know what you're doing with your shells, you can really get some stack damage. In fact, speaking of this, out of all, I don't know, because I try not to pay too much attention, but we've talked about it a little bit recently, just because it does play it does matter, right? But I do have some world records. In the American battleship records that I have, I think is 3 of them. I don't know offhand. It was more, but they've been beaten. All of them are on the Azure Lane, New Jersey. Why is that? Because for me, I'm very much about where I place my shots as we switch into HE, and this is going to be so disappointing. Look at this accuracy at 13 kilometers. Now, granted, he's bowing to me. I switched to HE, which he should definitely do. I know American shells, you can do a lot of damage in the superstructure, but again, my opinion, the HE is still the way to go on somebody like this. AP wouldn't have done much different, and honestly, HE could have started a fire if I hit anything. But that being said, when you know where to place your shots, especially with accuracy builds or damage builds, it can completely affect the outcome of your game. When you can, for example, Georgia, very accurate battleship in my opinion. I think I'm shooting in the mid 40s with that for accuracy. When you hit a citadel on my build, it's over 30-some thousand damage because of the stack perks, right? And I think if you normally hit it, let's say you had a normal commander, it wasn't very good, right? Was it 14 or 15,000 for a citadel? So it can be seriously different. But down below, let me know what your guys' favorite commanders are, as we do absolutely nothing to this Massachusetts at 13 kilometers. This was super disappointing. There we get one where we hit a couple shells. Guys, this isn't a short match, right? We've had targets to shoot at the entire time. I have only hit 45 shells. Oh, man. This was so rough, man. And this was the best one. I actually almost thought about the one to show you guys where I hit, I believe it was 30 shells for like, I believe it was like 40,000 damage. And I was alive the whole match and it had easy targets. But I felt like that was cherry picking to prove my argument. This was the best ever game that I had where I could hit a few things so I could show you guys, hey, even on a good match, a decent match, yeah, you're going to struggle without a good commander. And I get that. So for those of you guys free to play or new to the game or don't have very good commanders, I feel you, okay? And just save up, get you better commanders. I wouldn't recommend whaling like I do. I will because to make content, it's an investment for me. Also, I wouldn't recommend the Kong build, and I feel like I wasted resources on it, but I was trying to get a match with a lot of planes shot down, but apparently when I put Kong on a New Jersey, I'm allergic to aircraft carriers, right? Also, you can see the Chkalov could not be stopped by good AA. Even in that short amount of time he was focused on me, he absolutely wrecked me. All right. But like I said, Kong wouldn't recommend building into it. And of course, if I waited around, if I played this game or got really lucky, could I get a match with 150,000 damage or 200,000 damage with a bad commander? 100%. I totally could see that. But most of the times a bad commander is really going to hurt you. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time, folks. Have a good one.